Everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 4. And boy, do we got a lot of things going on this week. So here's our disclosures. As always, this is content for educational purposes only, not providing any investment advice, and this is not tailored to any one individual. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments involve risk. So here's the agenda that I will cover. We got 386 companies reporting earnings this week. This is the Super Bowl of earnings with 4 of the Mag 7 reporting this week. So it's going to be a thriller on Wednesday and Thursday to see what those companies do, as they will provide the outlook for the remainder of the year. Here's week 3 results. Provided 20 zones. We went 3 and 1. No entry with 15 and 1 in progress, and that is McCormick. Here's what the outlook looks for this week. Again, a very, very big week on earnings, so we should be able to stay pretty busy. Again, I'll do my best to provide you with the opportunities that I see fit and or do other research on your own if I don't cover a specific company. Went ahead and I updated what we went through, what hit, what didn't hit. And like I said, we are now 8 and 2 on the year. Transitioning into the news, as you can see on Monday, we don't have anything impacting the US markets, and it's pretty much because it's a big earnings week. On Tuesday, we don't have anything impacting the US market as well. You can see that POTUS is tentative scheduled to speak on Tuesday, so be aware of that in the event that that actually does occur, and that will be Tuesday morning before the market. For those of you trading futures and Forex, the Australian dollar has their CPI reports on Tuesday after the market. Then moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday is the first day that we should have some volatility as earning kicks off and the major companies report. And then we got Jerome Powell providing us with the Fed fund rates and the FOMC statement to find out whether or not we are going to cut rates or keep things the same. And we are expecting 2 more rate cuts for the remainder of the year. Then moving on to Thursday pre-market, we have unemployment claims, and that's going to be pre-market. So in addition to the 3 Max 7 that report Wednesday afternoon and the unemployment claims on Thursday, we should have some additional volatility Thursday morning at the open. And then finally bringing us to Friday, we got our PPI report and the impacts of what Apple does in its earnings. All right, moving into the charts and starting with the S&P 500 or the SPX. As you can see, this is the level that's been holding us on the supply level. We kind of touched it and fell from there on an initial test. So be cognizant that this level is here, but be aware also we have 4 mega cap companies reporting earnings this week. So utilize this area with caution. However, this supply zone is 6938.31 to 6988.64, and that's going to be on the SPX. On the demand side, 6801.39 to 6758.09. Moving on to the NASDAQ. And as the NASDAQ, you can see, is a little bit weaker, not as close to the level as the S&P 500. However, the NASDAQ actually has hit this level and has given us a nice return. So with that being said, utilize caution this week again, but our supply level still sits here at 2588.2.12 to 26206.4445. And the NASDAQ had a nice run the last couple of days of last week due to Meta and Microsoft. On the demand side, 24781.20 to 24540.95. Moving on to the DJX. So or the Dow Jones. There is no supply in the Dow Jones. That is clear. First demand level I have for you is going to be at 475.92 to 472.11. Now, moving on to the mighty RUT. Made an all new time high and rejected it pretty hard on Friday. If we get a drawdown or a retracement, the RUT is usually the first one to lead, so it's showing that a sign of that. So be prepared and mindful of that. The first demand zone I have for you is going to be 2585.07 to 2559.54. Now transitioning into earnings and starting on Monday morning before the market open. First company I have for you is Baker Hughes, ticker symbol BKR. We are sitting in this supply level 5304 to 5781. So once the market opens on Monday, you'll have a definitive answer on whether or not you can still utilize this level. On the demand side, 4076 to 3731. Next up I have for you moving and transitioning to Monday afternoon is going to be Nucor, ticker symbol NUE. Got a supply zone here at 189.08 to 196.09. On the demand side, 109.78 to 101.33. Moving on to Tuesday, prior to the market, first company I have for you is going to be United Health Group, ticker symbol UNH. On the demand side, 312.95 to 293.65. Be mindful that this level has already worked, so utilize it with caution. And on the supply side, you got two levels on top of each other, 393.65 to 410.48 and 412.20 to 440.25. Next for you, still Tuesday morning, is going to be Boeing, ticker symbol BA. On the supply side, 269.28 to 297.72. That is a larger time frame. Supply zone on the demand side, 219.51 to 214.07, with a subsequent level at 206.63 to 197.97. Next, coming on to UPS, they've had a wonderful run since they bottomed out at 82 at the last quarter, all the way up here to 108 at the moment. Utilize this level with caution as they do have earnings with a plus or minus of 10. So you might want to wait till Tuesday morning. But the next supply level I have for you, if this 108.84 level to 112.43 doesn't hold, is going to be pretty high. And it's going to be at the 135 level. So not anticipating that move to happen, which is why I haven't provided you that level. On the demand side, 89.23 to 86.17. Next, I got for you is Raytheon, ticker symbol RTX. No supply on the demand side, 159.61 to 155.60. Next company I have for you is Synchrony Bank, ticker symbol SYF. On the supply side, 86.44 to 88.87. On the demand side, 62.32 to 59.17. Next for you is Kimberly Clark, ticker symbol KMB. On the demand side, 88.01 to 81.17. On the supply side, 118.34 to 123.01. Moving on to Tuesday afternoon, next company I have for you is Texas Instruments. On the demand side, 153.14 to 139.54. On the supply side, 211.91 to 216.07. And I'm going to change that level right now to 211.91. Let's just call it 220 on the supply side. Moving on to Wednesday morning, first company I have for you is going to be ASML, ticker symbol ASML. No supply on the demand side, 1274.21 to 1248.32. And the subsequent level at 1220.51 to 1174.32. Be mindful, this is at all-time highs. If not mistaken, they have about $150 expected move plus or minus, so utilize these levels with caution. Next company I have for you is going to be AT&T, ticker symbol T. On the demand side, 22.79 to 21.79, and on the supply side, 28.28 to 30.05. Next company I have for you is going to be Progressive, ticker symbol PGR. On the demand side, 182.73 to 175.8. And on the supply side, 257.96 to 270.93. Next I have for you is going to be Starbucks, ticker symbol SBUX. It is sitting in this supply zone, so I would say utilize this with a lot of caution as this has worked a lot. So if they have positive earnings, utilize the 104.65 to 106.80 on the supply side, and on the demand side, we are sitting here at 78.53 to 72.69. Next company I have for you is going to be ADP, ticker symbol ADP. On the demand side, 251.67 to 244.46. Utilize this level with caution. It has worked multiple times. The next level I have for you is going to be all the way down here at 200.3 to 196.51. And on the supply side, 279.13 to 287.95. And then Wednesday afternoon, we have Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla. However, due to the respect of my elite members, if you need information, you can email me, contact me, or join our weekly group that provides you with that information. So moving on to IBM, that's going to be on Wednesday afternoon with Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla. No supply, 260.72 to 252.26 on the demand side. Next company I have for you is going to be Waste Management. So for waste management on the demand side, 190.34 to 187.13, and I have no supply for you on waste management. Next company is going to be MasterCard, ticker symbol MA. Moving on to Thursday morning, by the way. On the supply side, 592.89 to 602.32. And on the demand side, 508.82 to 496.14. Next is going to be MO. Alternate Group, ticker symbol MO. On the supply side, 63.72 to 65.29. On the demand side, several levels here. These are lower time frame levels, 58.26. And I'm just going to call it 58.26 down to 55. A lot of demand in this area. So watch how they play out earnings and see what happens. And these levels can provide you opportunities for a bounce. Next is going to be Lockheed Martin. A lot of money has been waiting for this bill to be passed. And you can see that Lockheed Martin has taken off from our last level down here at 407.87.3, 88.51. That's going to be demand. However, given the changes in the chart, we're going to go with 486.96 to 455.43 on the demand side, and then 602.96 to 618.19 on the supply side. Apple is another one of the Max 7 that my members get, so unfortunately, I can't provide that information for you. Again, if you want that information and get a weekly email on the Max 7, feel free to sign up for our elite membership. Now, moving on to SanDisk, also added to the S&P 500 this year and has been on a tear. No supply. First demand level I have for you is going to be at 398.85 to 372.06. Please utilize this with caution as this run-up is unsustainable. And a lot of people may or may not be getting trapped here. Earnings will tell us. Next company I have for you is Visa, ticker symbol V. On the demand side, 311.38 to 307.37, with a subsequent level at 293.42 to 287.30. On the supply side, utilize this with caution. However, you can see this is what's keeping Visa down. That's going to be 355.37 to 360.03. However, this is aggressive. More conservative level is going to be at 369.52 to 375.66. Moving on to Friday. First company I have for you is SoFi Bank, ticker symbol SOFI. First level I have for you is 25.14 to 23.54, and then a subsequent level at 22.73 to 21.18. And one last level here at 19.30 to 17.35. Be mindful that if SoFi gets added to the S&P 500 this year, there might be a possibility here for a run up back to $35 or $50 as they did not put them into the S&P 500 last quarter. Next company I have for you is going to be American Express, ticker symbol AXP. On the demand side, 337.16 to 320.02. On the supply side, 375.95 to 387.74. Next company I have for you is going to be Verizon, ticker symbol VZ. Chart looks a little weird. They've been moving sideways for a while here. On the demand side, 38.86 to 38.37. Just be mindful this level has worked a couple of times. So the next level is going to be at 37.90 to 37.09. On the supply side, you can see that this has been breached already. So we're going to remove it. And we're looking for an upside target of 42.92 to 44.09 on the supply side. Next, XOM, given the Venezuela news, all the oil stocks have had a nice run as well these last couple of weeks. So no all-time highs on XOM here, so no supply. First level I have for you is going to be as a matter of fact, let's take, 126.57 to 125.43, with a subsequent level at 124.51 to 122.52. Clearly the 124 level being the more conservative level. Next is going to be Chevron, ticker symbol CVX, sitting in this supply zone. Utilize this with a lot of caution. You have till Friday to make a determination. However, the better level here is at 177.36 to 189.68 on the supply side. And on the demand side, we're looking at 145.08 to 142.24. Sorry about this. I skipped this company. This is going back to Tuesday. This is going to be GM sitting here in supply at 82.17 to 95.07. And on the demand side, 59.02 to 56.73. It's going to do it for me in the charts this week. If you haven't done so already, follow me on social media. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to send me an email. As always, if you want to subscribe and join the elite group, feel free to check out the website and join us to WhatsApp alerts. And until next time, happy trading and stay safe out there this week as we got a lot of volatility coming in for the Max 7 reporting. Till next time, happy trading.